What's up guys, I'm Newbie Dave, and today we're building a Nether Hub. Let's get started. So how is it going, y'all? So I'll explain the details of what a Nether Hub is in just a second, but first we need to get some supplies. This is going to be a build in the Nether, obviously, and it's going to involve a lot of digging, especially a big open area. And so to do that, I'm going to go ahead and bring some wool to make some beds. I'm not going to be making nearly as many beds as I made when I was mining for ancient debris. So maybe I'll bring enough for, let's see, maybe 10 beds, which would be 30 wool. And then I'm also going to bring some colored wool just to kind of mark out an area that we want to use to define this room. So we have a good visible outline, because the beds are going to create this huge open area with lots of chunks missing and blocks all over the place. And it's just going to be hard to see the lines that we define, and so the blue wool is going to help us do that. I'm also going to bring lots of ladders. I don't have any ladders made up, but I've got some sticks, and I'll bring plenty of extra wood to make more. And holy smokes, I'm running out of wood. That monorail project used up a lot of my wood, and I'm only down to maybe 1 or 2 stacks of everything. I've got plenty of birch. Let me use birch. I've got more birch than I've got spruce, and I just don't really build with it. So what is a Nether Hub? Well, a Nether Hub is an area that allows you to travel through transdimensional space to other parts of the galaxy more quickly. Wait. No, sorry, that's a transwarp hub. So a Nether Hub is very similar in that it's an area in the Nether that allows you to travel to other areas in the Nether more quickly. And the reason why this is useful is because, as previously mentioned, traveling through the Nether is the fastest way to travel through the overworld, because a block in the Nether counts as 8 blocks in the overworld. So if I move, 100 blocks in this direction in the Nether, it's the equivalent of moving 800 blocks in that direction in the overworld. So a really good way to cover large areas in the overworld is to set up Nether portals in the Nether that you can quickly travel between. However, you may have noticed that the Nether is not exactly a friendly environment. There's a lot of bad guys that spawn here, there's a lot of difficult terrain that's hard to traverse, and I personally get lost very easily in the Nether. I am so lost. How do I get out of here? Newbie Dave. And so just building Nether portals in the Nether and then traveling across these giant oceans of lava and through different biomes with a lot of gas and magma cubes, it's not very safe, it's not very practical. So what we're going to be doing is building a big open area really high up in the Nether, where we can then dig tunnels to other areas really high up in the Nether, where we'll build our Nether portals. And that will provide us with nice, easy ways to move around quickly in the Nether without running into different biomes or different dangerous mobs. So we have a couple of options for where we can build this Nether Hub. One is to just build it right here where we've already got our Nether portal. The downside to that is the whole point of the Nether Hub is to have all these different branches and tunnels that shoot out in different directions. And this just isn't a very good level for digging out, because there's so many open areas. We'd end up having to actually build like around the tunnels rather than tunneling through the netherrack. And so the other options are way down at the very bottom of the Nether, or way up at the very top of the Nether. The Nether has bedrock at both the bottom and the top. There's no open sky like in the overworld. Now I'm going to choose the top, because down at the bottom you're more likely to run into giant lakes of lava, and it's very difficult to get through. Whereas up at the top, you're more likely to just hit netherrack everywhere. However, I am going to come down here and collect my giant auto smelter and move it up to the top with me, because again, I'm going to be digging out so much netherrack, it'll be useful to have that up there to smelt all this into nether bricks. And I forgot one very important thing. If we're going to be going to the Nether, and especially digging around in the Nether, we're definitely going to want some of these potions of fire resistance to deal with any lava that we may run across. So like I said, I want this thing to be up at the very top of the nether, which tends to be around Y120 to 125, but I don't want to just dig straight up from here. And the reason is because my nether portal needs to be at specific XZ coordinates. Because of how I built my portal room in the overworld, there's other nether portals in that room, and if it's not in just the right spot, I might end up linking to one of those other portals and get stuck behind a wall. And so because I want to just move this nether portal straight up from where it's currently at, if I just dig straight up from here with a ladder, I'm going to end up digging into what's going to become my nether hub, and I don't want to have a hole in the floor right next to my nether portal that has a ladder going all the way down. So what I'm going to do is dig out a little ways to kind of get away from where the nether hub is going to be, and then I'll dig straight up from there. Because I do want to keep this ladder back down to the nether so I can get up and down. I just don't want it to go straight into what's going to be the nether hub. Now, I know I said in my caving episode never to dig straight up, and if I wanted to be a little bit more cautious, I might go up a few blocks, then sort of dig a little alcove that I can stand in and dig up a little bit more. Because digging straight up in the nether, there's a very real possibility that you might run into some lava, which is going to pour down on you very quickly. But it's okay, I've got my netherite armor, and I've got a potion of fire resistance, so if we run across any lava, I can just use that to really quickly protect myself and then just plug up the lava and keep on going. So this is going to be a whole lot quicker, and I'll just take the chance that I might run into some lava. Alright, so we're up at Y113. We haven't hit bedrock yet, and we probably won't for another 10 blocks or so. This is actually about the level that I want the bottom of my nether hub to be, but I'm going to keep going up because it's going to be a whole lot easier to dig down to dig out the nether hub than it will be to dig up. So I kind of want to start at what's going to be the top of the nether hub rather than the bottom. So now I'm up at Y120, so this is pretty good. I'll go ahead and start digging over to get back to where the nether hub is going to be. So I've come back down to my nether portal to get the coordinates. So it looks like the Z coordinates are -5 and -6, and then the X coordinate is 50. So when I go back up, I need to go to X50 and Z -5, -6, and that is exactly where I need to build the nether portal up at the top. Alright, so here we are at X50 and Z -5, -6. So if I put down obsidian, this is directly above the nether portal, way down below me. Now the one that I'm going to build up here, I want it to actually be 3 blocks wide. So I'll put down a third one right there. So, and the reason for that is because the room that I'm going to build is going to be a big circle with an odd numbered diameter. It's going to be 19 by 19. And so I want this to be perfectly centered, which means that the portal also needs to be an odd number of blocks, 1, 2, 3. Now, I'm at Y120, and this is too high for the nether hub. This is going to be the top, but the bottom of the hub is going to be probably another 8 to 10 blocks below this. So I'm not going to build the portal here because it's really going to go way down below there. I'm just going to use this to mark the center of the room so I can start digging it out. Now, like I said, I want this to be a big circle that's going to have a diameter of 19 blocks. And so I need to go 9 blocks in each direction to mark the edges of that circle, which is weird to think about a circle having edges. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Alright, so I dug 9 blocks out in each direction, and I put down a block of obsidian with a little torch above it just so I have a visual indication of how far to go in each direction. Now the reason I'm using obsidian for all of this is because for a lot of this digging I'm going to use beds to just blast out a whole lot of netherrack and blackstone very, very quickly. And obsidian should have a high enough blast protection that the bed explosions won't break it. And so that way I'm not going to lose my markers during the explosions. Now before I do that, I want to come back to kind of where I started, my ladder area over here. And I'm going to dig out just a little sort of safety space where I can put down my chest, where I can put my auto smelter, and just have an area where I can do some work that's not going to get destroyed by all the digging and explosions. And then the other thing I want to do before I really get started with the excavation is really just kind of dig out the whole top level first, get the shape defined, because while I'm up here, you can see I've already hit the bedrock by just digging up 1 or 2 blocks. I want to go ahead and clear out all of the roof up to the bedrock and it completely exposed the bedrock, that's going to be our ceiling. And I think it's going to look really nice to have nothing but bedrock up at the very top. And that's going to be a whole lot easier to do while I'm already up here at this level. That way I don't have to build like little nerd poles up from the bottom to reach the bedrock and try to get up into all these little nooks and crannies. So let me start by just digging out all the way around, get the full 19 by 19 circle defined, and then I can go straight up and dig out the ceiling of this whole thing, and then I'll use beds to just kind of blast my way all the way down and finish clearing out the rest of it. So to get a circle that is 19 by 19 in diameter, each of the long sides is going to be 5 blocks. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we'll come in 1 and go across 2 more, like that. And then we'll come in 1 more and go across 2 again. So you've got 5, and then it comes in a little bit closer, goes across 2, comes in a little bit closer, and goes across 2. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. We'll go over 2, we'll come in 1, and go over 2 again. So we've got 2, 2, 5, 2, and 2. Now we're just going to repeat that on every side. So there's one corner dug out, so you can see it goes 5 across that way, then 2, 2, turns. We've got another 2, and then we'll do 5 over here. We'll just do each side like this. Alright, so I got this whole area dug out now. I've got the proper dimensions on every side. As you can see, it's just, there's a whole lot of netherrack, a whole lot of blackstone. It's kind of hard to see until you get up close, kind of where the corners are, and it's kind of hard to count. So watch this. Boom! Light blue wool. Now it's a lot easier to see the outline of this. Now eventually that wool is going to get blasted away once we start using beds to kind of dig downwards. But that's going to help us to visualize the outline of this room and help us to start clearing things out. So at this point I'm just going to go around and start digging up to the bedrock everywhere within this blue circle, get this whole area cleared out. And as I'm doing this, I'm going to put some glowstone up in the ceiling. This, yes, it's going to provide light because glowstone is obviously a light emitting source, emits a light level of 15. But that's not really the purpose because these things are going to be all the way up in the ceiling. The bottom of this room is going to be way down there. And so it's not really to light up the room. I just think it's going to look cool to have some glowstone up there kind of buried into the bedrock. Alright, I got this whole area cleared out all the way up to the very top of the bedrock. Added some glowstone lamps up at the top just for decoration. And I did go all the way back over the blue wool. So this is eventually going to be replaced by the actual wall. And the wall, I want it to go all the way up to the bedrock, so I just went ahead and dug that out as well. So at this point, it is time to start digging downwards, and we need to decide how far down we want to go. So right now we're at Y120. I think I want my tunnels to be at Y115, which means that the room needs to go down at least that far, and I think I want it to go down a little bit more as well. Like I think I want the actual hub room to be sort of sunken down a little bit and to have stairs that go up into each of the tunnels. So I'm going to place these beds, and maybe if I go down a little bit, maybe it'll spare some of the wool. Oh, and somebody suggested in my video for Ancient Debris using a shield to absorb some of the blast, and I thought that was a really good idea. So I'm going to go ahead and build a shield. And then when I crouch to activate the bed and make it explode, the shield will absorb some of the damage. Alright, here we go. Okay, okay, we did lose a little bit of the wool. I think we probably lost more to it burning than from the explosion. And we got to deal with some of the lava that was in here. But yeah, I would say that was pretty successful. We only lost a little bit of wool, which isn't really that big of a deal. I've got some extra wool, I can replace it. And it looks like our obsidian in the middle held up to the blast, which is good. So I like that, going down a few blocks first and then placing the bed. That seemed to cover more area and get down deeper. So I'll do that again. So apparently wool is highly flammable. That fire spreads so quickly. I mean, I set this bed off on this side and the fire spread really quickly to that side and burned up all the wool. So I think I'm just gonna have to wait until I'm done exploding everything before trying to put the wool back. Alright, we finished blowing everything up. That was just about perfect. It got us right down to the level I wanted, which was 113. And pretty much kept all of the blasts within the blue outline. So yeah, now I just need to clear out the rest of this by hand. This is going to go a whole lot faster than if I was trying to do it all by hand. And there we go, got the whole area cleared out. I went ahead and dug under the wool as well, because the wool represents the wall. And so eventually this whole section here is going to be replaced with some sort of blocks, including the wool. And so this just keeps me from having to dig back one more row all the way around as I go put the walls in. So now we're going to go ahead and place our nether portal up here. So we'll do 1, 2, 3, make sure that aligns correctly. Good. And then I'm going to go out one more on each side so that the inside is 3. And so if the base is 5, let's see, I want to go up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And how about that? I did not plan that. That was just really good luck. That the top happened to be where I already put those obsidian blocks to begin with. So there, that's going to be our nether portal in here. And so instead of the minimum 2x3, this one's going to be 3x5. So we'll light this up, make sure that it links up correctly in the overworld. Good, came out the right nether portal. What I was worried about was getting stuck either in that one or that one, which happened when I first built this thing. So this lets me know that it did link up properly in the overworld, and our position of everything is good. In hindsight, I probably should have built this thing up here first before digging out this whole area, because if it was like one block off, I don't know what I would do. I probably would have just like quit the game and cried. So around the nether portal, I want to put some quartz slabs. Let's see. So we'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's not going to be enough. I'm going to need a couple more. Like that. And that way we can just step on up into it. And for the floor, I think I'm going to do some combination of quartz, quartz block, quartz bricks, chiseled quartz, and pillar quartz blocks. Basically variations of the different types of quartz. I think that's what I want to do for the floor. My original plan was to do that for the walls as well, but I think that would make this whole room just look like like a clean room or a surgical room or something, and that's not quite what I'm going for. So instead, what I want to do is I want to only use blocks that are found in the nether to decorate this room. And so what I want to do, the floor is going to be white. It is going to be made out of quartz. And I think I want black stone at the top and then like basalt in the middle. So it creates this sort of white, gray, black gradient as it goes up. And I'm going to kind of offset it so it's not just like 3 rows of quartz and then 3 rows of basalt and black. Like I want it to look sort of like it's sort of melting or trickling down or something like that. So I think what I'll do is I'm going to start with the corners, because the big flat sides are going to be where I put the tunnels, and so I'm going to end up digging out a lot more there. So let me start with the corners instead. And actually I want to mix this up. I'm going to get some polished stone basalt as well, and then also we'll throw in some polished black stone. I don't think I want to use blackstone bricks for this one, surprisingly. And just for fun, I'll get a couple of the chiseled blackstone too. I don't know if I want to use this. I'm only going to get a couple, and we'll see how that comes out. So yeah, I'm thinking something kind of like that. As I step back and look at it, I think the polished blackstone is actually a little bit lighter than the regular blackstone. So as I get up there on this side, or maybe over there, I'll probably switch those two, because I want it to go from light to dark as it goes up. Yeah, so it's coming along. I think as I work on this and get all the way around, I may come back and touch up a couple places, because it's kind of hard as you're just working like one little side at a time to see how the whole picture is coming together. And I feel like it might be a little bit too, I don't know, a little too uniform, like the sides that go up. Yeah, I don't know. I'm going to live with it for a little while, and as I work on the rest of this room, I might come back and tweak it a little bit. In fact, I'm already going to come back and tweak it a little bit. Alright, so that finishes up the corners. Now it's time to turn our attention to the 4 sides. And I'm not quite sure what I want to do with these yet. Like, I have an idea, but I haven't completely fleshed it all out yet. So I'm going to start with one side. I'll start with this one because this is the side that you face when you first come out of the Nether portal. And kind of what I'm thinking is doing something like this. I went ahead and dug out a 3x3 hole on each side, because that's going to be the tunnel that will go out into the Nether on each end. And so I think I want to surround it with blackstone bricks like this. And then what I'm thinking about doing is to help, this room's a big circle, to help kind of keep myself oriented. I brought a bunch of different color concrete, and I actually got this idea from another YouTuber called Waddles. I'm a big fan of his. I really love his builds. He's provided a lot of the influence for a lot of what I've done, and I really like this idea of his. So I'm going to use some different colored concrete behind each of these tunnels to help just kind of color code which direction is what. And so let me start. Oh, hi lava. I'm actually going to scoop that up in a bucket because I'm going to use the lava later. So we'll do yellow concrete behind those. And we'll do the same thing in the corners up here. And then to kind of fill in that area on the sides, I think I'll just kind of copy whatever block is next to it. So I'll do basalt up here. And down here I'll do quartz. So let's take a step back and look. Now keep in mind there's going to be more stuff above this, so that's not done. And I'm probably also going to put some of that color inside of the tunnel as well. And then I think I want to do some kind of arch above it, so let me get some more black stone. Let me turn some of this into slabs, and some of it into stairs. And let me get up here. I'll break these and put some more of the colored concrete in there. And probably here as well. And then let's do staircase there, stairs there, and then maybe slab, and maybe that's it. We just do the, yeah. So I don't need the concrete behind those. Yeah, I like that. So it kind of follows the shape of the tunnel right below it. Alright, and then above this arch, I'm actually going to do a second arch. I'm going to remove these, and I do have a plan here, so just bear with me because I haven't actually tried this yet. So here's what I'm thinking. Iron fences on the side, and I'm going to do a lava source way up there. That should flow down and out like that. I think I'm going to have to do 2 lava sources for what I have planned. So if I put a lava source way back there, it should spread out and then flow down. Yeah. Okay, there we go. Fixed it. So now I've got lava flowing from the top, and I've also got it spreading out over that whole area. So now if we do, gotta be careful here so I don't touch the lava. Do stone staircase there. No. So how did this turn out? That looks pretty cool, I think. I'm not sure about the iron fences. The ones on the sides are necessary to hold the lava in so it doesn't flow out. But I don't know about the ones in the middle. Okay, new plan. I changed the arch on top to be a little bit smaller than the one below it. Put some chiseled black stone and some blackstone walls around that. and then filled in the top with just regular black stone, so the lava is kind of sunken into the wall, and I think that's a lot better. It doesn't take up the lava doesn't take up as much space, and you've got a lot of different variety and depth and detail. Yeah, so I think I like that, and I'm going to duplicate that for the other 4 walls now. Alright, so I have finished all 4 sides. I put in purple, blue, green, and yellow to represent the 4 directions. I might come back at some point and do something to like explicitly indicate that that's north, that's east, south, west. For now, I'm just going to go based on colors. Eventually I'll learn like yellow leads me to whatever nether portal and so on. I haven't done the floor yet, and I haven't dug out these tunnels yet, but I think I'm going to call it here for this episode. This was a lot of work for one day. It went a lot longer than I expected, and I've got something big planned for the floor that's also going to be a lot of work, so I think I'm going to save that for the weekend update, and I'm just going to go ahead and call this here for tonight. So thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and I hope it gave you some good ideas for building your own nether hub. As I said, I'm going to finish this off in the weekend update, so check back again on Sunday to see how it turns out. Thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed this episode, please hit that like button, and while you're down there, also subscribe if you haven't. That way you'll get notified of future episodes as they come out. Thank you all so much, and have a great day.